to the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Okay, so my why is purpose. And I know that may almost sound a bit cliche, but it's not. I mean, I would start by saying that the essence of any human being is the core of who we are is our spirit.
Yeah.
Okay? So we are spirit, not spiritual, we are spirit. We have a soul and we live in a physical body, but this is just a vehicle for us to get the job done whilst we're here on an assignment, right? And so we are spirit, but our spirit is hosted in our heart, because the soul, there are 3 compartments of the soul, and that's your heart, your mind, and your emotions. And so the heart is the part of the soul that hosts the spirit. So that's why every time God wants to deal with you, he deals with your heart, because that's where your spirit is. That's where your spirit is hosted in your soul.
So more or less like the heart is the house.
Yes, the house.
Is the spirit.
Yes, the spiritual part of your being.
So God visits. So if God wants to speak to you, he visits the house.
It has to be your heart. That is why it is with your heart that you believe, then you can confess with your mouth, and salvation is done. But it's the heart. It's the heart. It's the heart. And at the core of my heart is the desire to please God. My life's intention is to please God at every time that God will take a look at me, whether he sees the thoughts of my heart, hears the words of my mouth, or watches my actions. I want God to say, yeah, that's my son, in whom I'm well pleased. And because it's a transparent experience, I can't hide the thoughts of my heart from God. I can't hide it in darkness. It doesn't matter whether there's physical light or no light.
Yeah.
I can't hide the thoughts of my heart. So I've constantly got to keep checking to say, what I'm doing now, is it pleasing him? So because my guide is to please God, my authenticity can only be measured in relation to him. Because it doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. If God knows that what you are saying and what you are thinking are different, there's problem.
Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand. You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome. Like you know, visibility, relevance, and influence have become integral parts in every brand's growth plan. Now, it's no story, it's not news that over the past 12 months, the likes of personal brands like Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido have shut down O2 in London. Not to forget that these same brands have international collaborations and are brand ambassadors for brands like Puma, Reebok. Let's not forget to mention the other name, Thames, that is also part of this trio. We also have the likes of Faith Odunsin, the amazing international math sensation that is making us proud. At this year's Personal Branding Summit, we have the likes of Charles Otudor, Africa's premier brand strategist and engagement consultant. we have Renée Q Boateng, all the way from Ghana, who is a self-development coach, a brand strategist, and also an etiquette and lifestyle consultant. Let's not forget the one and only Onye Ubanatu. Onye is a multidisciplinary creative entrepreneur who has done so many things in the creative industry. And these amazing individuals have one thing in common. They all want to help you build a global brand. My name is Emeka Ebeniro. I'm the convener of Africa's #1 Global Summit on Personal Branding. And on this journey, we're going to help you shape your brand and take you to where you've always wanted to be. Sit back, relax, and welcome to the Personal Branding Summit 2022. We'll be back after this short break.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand. You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Hi, Personal Branding Summit PBS 2022 is here, and it's all about building a global brand and personal branding. My name is AY with the double O, and we're out on the streets of Lagos to find out from Nigerians what they think about personal branding and building a global brand. Stay with us and let's get right into it.
I would say a brand is, you can say a brand is a person, a product. A country can be a brand too. So a brand is basically something that is popular and worldwidely accepted.
10 customers in 10 countries. So because I'm just getting the feedback from different people from all around the world. So getting the ideas from other people that you have not really related with before.
The thing is that me having 10 customers in 10 countries, eventually I'll get more than the 1,000 customers I have in Nigeria, because that means it's global. Once the thing leaves short, then obviously it's already global. So
Okay, I prefer having a business in Nigeria and sell to other 10 countries in the world. That's because the locations also matters, and if I'm making money in South Africa, that means I'll be limited to, my finances will be limited to South Africa. But based on on differences in currencies, I'll be able to make more. Selling from Nigeria and selling to other 10 countries, 10 notable countries in the world.
I would like to have 10,000 customers all over the world, because I have to move my markets externally. Why will I be a localized person? I have to move forward now. I can't just be here.
I would prefer to go global. That is, start in Nigeria and go worldwide. I think that is when you can say a brand is a brand. That's when you can say a brand is a brand.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2020.
What does it feel to have a comfortable space? Come, I'll show you.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Hi, Personal Branding Summit PBS 2022 is here, and it's all about building a global brand and personal branding. My name is AY with the double O, and we're out on the streets of Lagos to find out from Nigerians what they think about personal branding and building a global brand. Stay with us and let's get right into it.
I would say a brand is, you can say a brand is a person, a product. A country can be a brand too. So a brand is basically something that is popular and worldwide accepted.
10 customers in 10 countries. But because I'm just getting the feedback from different people from all around the world. So, getting the ideas from other people that you have not really related with before.
The thing is that me having 10 customers in 10 countries, eventually I'll get more than the 1,000 customers I have in Nigeria, because that means it's global. Once the thing leaves short, then obviously it's already global. So,
Okay, I prefer having a business in Nigeria and sell to other 10 countries in the world. That's because the locations also matters, and if I'm making money in South Africa, that means I'll be limited to, my finances will be limited to South Africa. But based on on differences in currencies, I'll be able to make more. Selling from Nigeria and selling to other 10 countries, 10 notable countries in the world.
I would like to have 10,000 customers all over the world, because I have to move my markets externally. Why will I be a localized person? I have to move forward now. I can't just be here.
I would prefer to go global. That is, start in Nigeria and go worldwide. I think that is when you can say a brand is a brand. That's when you can say a brand is a brand.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Obviously, now which kind of question is that one? The brand is the fact that the rice is jollof. It's not just rice. Like the way you prepare it, you can't just put rice on fire and you get jollof. Yes, I would say it's a global brand. Yeah, because I believe the Oyinbos still enjoy jollof rice, while we Africans still enjoy jollof rice. So I believe it's a global brand.
Being a global brand is being accepted worldwide. Like Cristiano Ronaldo is known worldwide. He's a brand on his own. He has recently had 400 million followers on social media. So he's a brand.
I would say a global brand is basically an identity that sells to everyone everywhere in the world, that goes around the globe. There are no restrictions and no limitations. They are well accepted in every part of the world.
There you have it. We've heard from people on the streets. It's time to get back to the studio where we have our speakers enlighten us on personal branding.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Welcome back from that break. Yes, you are watching the Personal Branding Summit, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. And I still remain Emeka Ebeniro, your host and convener of Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. You heard it from the people on the streets, what the Nigerians and Lagosians think about personal branding and, of course, becoming a global brand. From that interesting question, is jollof rice a global brand? And the people say, yes, jollof rice is a global brand because it is accepted not only in Nigeria, but all over the world. And like you know, we have this interesting battle and debate between which jollof rice is better. Is it the Nigerian jollof or is it the Ghanaian jollof? Now, according to sources at one of our ministers, he says Senegalese jollof is better, but that is a question or a discussion for another day. So before we go right into it, at this point, this is where we have the the talk and also the address from our keynote speaker. He's none other than Africa's premier brand strategist and engagement consultant. And he's going to be sharing with us how we all can become relevant as brands in this global space and economy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who I'm talking about, he is none other than the godfather of branding, the one and only Charles Otudor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Charles Otudor.
Charles Otudor. Charles Otudor is Africa's premier brand strategist and engagement consultant, an alumnus of the prestigious Wits Business School, South Africa, University of Jos, Nigeria, and School of Policy, Politics, and Governance. He is the Group Principal Consultant of Abstract Brand Management Consultant. He is an accomplished author, public speaker, and thought leader. His intellectual thoughts are captured in two of his publications, Brands Arise, The Nigerian Brand Renaissance, and the Charles Otudor Personal Brand Guide Volume 1 and 2. His belief that entrepreneurship is the future of African economies has influenced his investment in the COBMC, the Charles Otudor Brand Masterclass series, over the past 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Charles Otudor. Personal Branding Summit 2022, Building a Global Brand.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Good evening. My name is Charles Otudor. I'm very honored to be on this platform. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, those on this platform, because you are special. For you to be here, it means you are special. At this point, I want to say thank you to the convener of this very special event, Emeka Ibeniro. I want to say thank you to other speakers, Reni Q from Ghana, Onye Ubanatu, Bizo Oshikoya, and our other friend, I can't remember the name, forgive me, but all I can say is thank you for accepting to be on this platform. This is a platform that's going to create the impossible in the future, and I'm honored to be part of it. What is a personal brand? A personal brand connotes different things to different people, because without the personal brand, there's no corporate. But before I go further, I want to use one simple case study, my case study. Many years ago, when I came into this market, they told me it can't be done, that you cannot succeed in a market where everything is all about advertising and advertising, advertising. And I said, the market will shift very soon. There will be a time where the evolution of the market, to the point where people and brands will start shifting towards brands, personal brands that define and represent certain values. So without much ado, let me go into my keynote speech. Once again, thank you, Emeka, for nominating me to do this. I don't think I'm worthy yet, because only legends are given this kind of platform. Okay, for me to start with, I will talk about, there's a Chinese proverb that I will paraphrase as, behind every able person, there are more able people. That means, so we are many of us in the battlefield, but there are too many others that are also more able. The work that Emeka Ibeniro has done to bring all of us here together is truly and truly exceptional. Let me say thank you to Emeka again and the entire team behind the Personal Branding Summit for giving me this opportunity to come here virtually to also deliver this keynote and share lessons. Most of the lessons I'm going to share today are also case studies from where I've come from in my second part of the presentation and others I've encountered. So guess what? It was also, Emeka was also the compere at my annual Charles Otudor Personal Branding Summit, Masterclass I held in November sometime last year. And he was so, I don't want to overblow his horns before his head starts straying. So we start straying far away from this business of the day, but we'll stray a bit. I'd like to take your minds back now. I want us to slow down a bit and listen to this story. May 4th, 1945, in the middle of the ferocious World War II, during the Battle of Okinawa, there's a young man called Desmond Thomas Dawes, who was serving the US military as a combat medic. And guess what? He refused to bear arms. Let me pause a bit. He refused. A soldier who he went into the military, went through the processes. He knew that when you go, you sign in to be a military person, to be a member of that elite class. After the training, the soldier, no, his religious beliefs. And what happened? He had so many issues with even his compatriots. His failure to do so made his fellow US soldiers feel he was a threat, because in war, you are meant to all work together to save each other's lives. And, it got so bad. Now, most of his colleagues went so as far as writing a petition against him and even assaulting him within that platform. And he did something. He stuck to his guns. He insisted, based on one thing, his convictions. He was convicted, but he did something. He asked his father for help, because his father was a retired general, and he asked his father for help, and he got a letter. His father got a letter from a senior colleague to support his son. Now, this is a spirit we're talking about. You want to play in the global field, you must have the spirit of resilience. Now, what happened later? Later, this same young man, during the high point of the war, was in the thick of it without a rifle. He was the bravest. What did he do? He helped to rescue at least 75 wounded men. Let me pause at this point. How many of us are ready to put our lives on the line, or put our brands on the line, to be exceptional? This young man did this based on his convictions. Now, he helped rescue at least 75 wounded people by lowering them down a cliff and treating their injuries. And guess what? People were also screaming, one more, one more. He was also screaming, one more. That means he wanted one more person to be saved. Amazing. He ended up winning the Congressional Medal of Honor. Don't forget, he was ostracized. He was castigated. To play global means you're going to fight against the tide. You must go against the traffic. To play global means you're breaking the norm and breaking the rules of engagement. Today, now let's move away from that story. Let me tie it in. Today, in 2022, post-COVID era, we are faced with too many other battles, too many other wars now. Just the same kind of war that young man faced, where we have the latest guns. We look at what's happening in Ukraine. The big boy, the big brand is now taking over a smaller country based on whatever. That's where we are in the world today. Now, despite COVID, we're all thriving. We are still here, and that's why I want to commend all of you for staying alive and staying safe and being on this platform to listen to me talk and be part of all the other speakers. They speak there, so you can also take away something. Now, we all want to be part of this battalion, the battalion that keeps on winning all the battles. But there's something that will stand us out long term. Can we do it differently? Rather than asking, why don't I do differently? Or why should I do differently? Why don't you just do it differently? Like whoever, Elon Musk, John Cook, Tony Emelu. You can, I don't know your heroes, but this market is full of a lot of brands that have gone against the tide. Going global means that you stand for something. You insist on being different. The biggest gap with doing this is that you have to know yourself before you understand to be different. You also must have to understand your market and the customers and the rules of engagement. To play global, you must understand the market. What did he do so differently? Desmond Doss knew he was, and he also knew who he was and understood the laws governing his decision not to bear arms. He was convicted that he didn't have to bear arms to create the impossible. Do you understand the terms of reference and the rules of engagement to play global? If you do, let me pause a bit, because I think I'm losing a lot of people. I know that everybody's muted. So let me pause a bit. My team today is to talk about building a global brand. If now I see you guys are with me, okay. Now to my presentation, don't worry. I've only highlighted a few of you. I just want to be sure that you guys are here with me right now. So I will go into my presentation. Today, I want to focus on two issues: the problem and the solution. The problem and the solution. The problem and the solution. Building a global brand, building global relevance as a brand, building global relevance as a brand. Now, I have 5 points to talk about. One, my key takeaways. Secondly, the positioning the brand you. Then playing from local to Glocal. Number 4, personal versus corporate. And then how do we connect the dots? And I'll give my passing shots. I want to wrap this up. I have only 40 minutes. I was told I have only 40 minutes, including my intros, my welcome, my keynote speech. So let me go into my summary of my takeaways. 1, how to brand you for global relevance. How do you brand yourself to be relevant in the global space beyond the local? That's number 1. That's the takeaway. 2, processes to going global. What are the processes do you go through from here to there? Thirdly, uncommon traits of high-flying brands. What are the traits if you want to play global? What are the traits you need to have? Fourthly, building transitional brands. Don't forget, you must go from where you are, where it's just your vision. It was all about you at the beginning. You must be able to now be transitional, where you co-opt other people that will buy into your vision to make it global. You can't go global if you run as a one-man team. You need to ensure all the people buy into your vision. And then finally, how do you sustain this positioning? Those are my 5 takeaways. Now, okay, just before I go into my presentation, I think I need to give you one case study. Just watch it and tell me what you think afterwards.
Eternal Africa.
She get the money. She get the money. If you get the money, you just spend the money. Make you spend the money. She get the money. She get the money. If you get the money, make you hide the money. Make you spend the money, job. Bring the shop. There is a cost. Oh, no, good understand now. Bring the shop. There is a
Okay. What did you notice in that video? For me, why did I choose it? For 2 reasons. 1, the dexterity, the attention to details, and then the second part, the coordination of all of them. All these kids were coordinated beyond measure. Now, at their age, they were coordinated. So you can see coordination, dexterity, and creative profundity in one video. Now, I will come back to the lessons later again. Let me talk about the personal positioning brand deal. If you take away some lessons from that video, put it into the context of your personal brand. Let me talk about positioning you for the position of the personal brand now. Personal brand is essentially the ongoing process of establishing a prescribed image. Prescribed. I want to talk about your personal brand now. Is your image prescribed? Do you have the processes in place? It's about the ongoing processes of establishing a prescribed image or impression in the mind of others about individual, corporate, or group. Now, do you understand the principles that will ensure and emphasize your strongest elements or your strongest core values? You can't go ahead and build a sustainable global brand if your personal brand is rooted in international processes. Now, look at the video again. No, hold on. If you look at the video, look at the background. Those are young kids. They call themselves from the top, they get to or something. But guess what? See the environment. They have a fantastic stage, no props, but they took advantage of one element: their creativity and their dexterity and their boldness to put together all that. You can't rely on your traditional processes. They went onto YouTube and every other platform. Positioning you means understanding that you cannot rely on yesterday and the traditional processes. You need to move away to a new platform. So I want to talk about the 6 steps. How do you want to go global? How do you want to start your personal branding to a point when you start from one point and get to the point you go global? 6 points for me. You need to discover your core identity. What is your core identity? Have you ever asked yourself? Not unconsciously, but consciously ask yourself, what is my core DNA? You write it down. You need to discover your core identity. And part of your core identity is part of your core values. What drives you? What makes you tick? What makes you different from other people? Second point is you must be able to differentiate yourself. When God created all of us, He gave us a different thumbprint. I keep on saying that God was the first brand consultant because He differentiated all of us through our thumbprints. So differentiate yourself based on your core innate attributes. You were not born the same like any other person. You are different. You need to differentiate yourself. But for you to be able to differentiate yourself, you must discover your core identity. Thirdly, you must show your brand. Once you differentiate, how do you want to now expose your differentiation? You will engage it in a proper, you showcase that by projecting it in different platforms. Don't forget, I keep on saying this. You don't have to deploy every medium to show your brand or project it. You need to decipher what medium or what platform suits you as a brand. Now, fourthly, you need to engage and network. Nothing good can go to the outer if it's hidden under the bushel. A goldfish cannot be hidden, but you need to engage. You can't survive on your own. Yes, you can go this far, but you need to engage and network. That means, where are you engaging? What platforms? Your network is your net worth. Who are your networks? Who are the people you engage with? Your old school friends, your university friends, who are they? Your alumni, how do you engage? You need to ensure that you connect and remain connected to a system. That's your network. And they have to be consistent. The fifth one, you have to be consistent. It's not a one-off. You need to plan and consistently be on that same platform. And the most important part of this, my 6 steps, is you must be strategic. Being strategic means that you know when to engage and know when to engage, who to engage with and who not to engage with. Not everybody that's available to you or that you see in your sphere is necessary for your next step. You need to focus on those that are strategically aligned with your next steps or your future. Next slide. So now going further, I want to talk about how do you play from the local to the global? I want to mesh that. Now, don't forget, there's a local and there's a global. So the new word for me, like I always say, is Glocal. You operate from the local point of view, but you now project to the global. That means Glocal. So how do you do that? Going global is essential to the global integration marketplace. Now, with the Internet of Things, you can sell from anywhere. We have people from Zambia, people from Kenya, people from Ghana, people from South Africa, America, the UK, watching us right now. Then people from all over Nigeria on this platform. So with the Internet of Things, you can sell your values, your brand. So you need to understand that the strength of your brand in terms of projection is in your ability to play in the global space using integration of that market space, understanding that. So what's global branding? Who's a global brand? Are you now? Do you have a brand price? Are you what premium? Are you still struggling? Are you struggling with your pricing mechanism? When people come to you, do you renegotiate and you cut down your price because you're not sure of your what? It's time for you to review your brand strategy. And it's all about positioning. Your positioning must be strong from your local point, your local market. You cannot go and play the international market or the local market if your positioning, your sphere, immediate clients is weak. So you must capture your local market and you translate that process and all the attributes to the global market. But you must be able to be consistent to drive and sustain your local positioning across different regions. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm supposed to be controlling it. Okay. Why do consumers, now this is most critical. Why do consumers really love global brands? Why? I know that we are muted, so I can ask questions. So I wish I could ask. So why do we love global brands? Well, for some people, they are associated with higher quality. Perception, we assume, no, for some, they are really higher quality. But for some, it's perception. Because when you buy those products, you find that not all global brands have the same quality. Trust me. I've been there and I've done that. So we assume that global brands are associated with higher quality because of the idea that anything sold worldwide cannot be bad. They also signify modernity, progress, and consumers want to be associated with modernity, want to be futuristically looking, want to look as we are progressing. And guess what? The third part is that they are associated with a particular country. For instance, we talk about Italian shoes, French wine, and you know, for Sweden, IKEA. But for Nigeria, what do we think about? Let me not bust a bubble. Maybe Boko Haram? Or party inconsistencies? Sick presidents? What are you going to buy if you're going to buy in Nigeria? We're talking about global brands now. What would anybody buy from Nigeria beyond coming in here to take advantage of our weaknesses? This is where you also have your roles to play in the future. I love this country and I prefer to be here to add value and I will remain here. But we need to get it right. Consistency, but we need to get this brand message and the brand communication right beyond the rhetorics. Okay? Okay. So prerequisites for being a global brand. What are the prerequisites? Someone always tell me that you want to play the global space, be ready to scratch on the global space. You must have a compelling, very critical, a compelling, consistent brand promise that resonates beyond the immediate market. That means you must go cross-cultural. If you can't duplicate your effort in your brand standards in Nigeria and Ghana and Cameroon and anywhere, you cannot go global. So you have a template. When they buy your brand, they know it's the same. If you look at any of these global brands, from Coca-Cola to Volvo to any other brand you can imagine, it's the same. It doesn't matter where they operate, but you notice there's a consistency in their brand identity and their cross-cultural implementation of that identity and the products they sell and the values. Then, secondly, you must have innovative product development. You cannot remain stagnant. You must also envisage changes. To play in the global market, you must be innovative. You must be able to understand the nuances of the market and where they are going next. So you also develop products and your strategy to be in synergy with the next phase. And then you must have a passion for improving. Most brands and consumers have one thing in common. The brands that add value and the consumers that want something new, they are par. But if your brand does not add value to people's lives, you will be dropped. So as a brand that is looking at going global, you must be ready to add value by adding something that improves people's lives daily. So for instance, what need do you meet? What's the need you meet right now? Now, finally, branding can be tweaked for different cultures. So you must be able to retweak your branding for you to play on the global space. Do not say I'm from Nigeria, so I must speak Igbo in Ukraine. No, or I must speak my language in Canada. No. You have to brand because you are trying to. They appreciate the Africanism, but they will not understand your language for them to buy. You must communicate in a way they can identify and then buy into your brand. That is critical. You must tweak your culture and economies at the same time, staying true and consistent with your core corporate identity. That way, any market you operate at would understand where you're coming from and your source. My next one, please. I'm running up very soon, please. I think I said I have only 40 minutes and I'm getting there. Okay, so, but you must also be able to sustain it. Sustainability is critical for you to play global. You must have a plan for the short, the medium, long term. So you ask yourself, how do I play this market short term? Is it within 6 months time, 7 months, 1 year, or if I go medium, is it going to be 1, 2 years or 3 years, and then long term? Beyond the medium, can I stay in this market for the next 10 years? But you must put in place strategies that ensures that you can navigate from the short, mid-term, and the long term. That way, you have a plan that's sustainable. If you are not sustainable, or you don't have a plan that gives you a head-on into that market long term, you will not be able to play long term in that market. You must put together a strategy that ensures that you remain relevant long term. Now, let me talk about the brands that have been able to hack into their systems, because we're talking about global brands now. Let's talk about personal versus corporate brands. Which are the brands? Now, look at this image here. I purposely don't want to put any name here. I didn't tag it. But there's something about this man. His work revolves around human progress and idealism. You cannot put your hands up, so don't worry. So it's not interactive. So look at him. I give you 1 second. 1, 1, 1. Gone. 3 seconds gone. His name is Elon Musk. Tesla. We know him. From I can see it. Okay, Koro. Oh, I see your fire burning over there. Okay. Thank you for the fire. Awesome. Okay. So Tesla. Awesome. Awesome. Bring the comments in. Encourage me. Let me encourage you too. Fire on. I'm getting warmed up. Okay, so look at Tesla. Look at Elon. Elon, his team is about THEME is about his work evolves about human progress and idealism. This drives everything he does. So let me go back to you guys. What drives your brand? Money or the progress of the human race and adding value to lives? For me, I'm driven by the quest to add value to lives and living. That's what that drives me. Okay, let's move. Look at the next one. If you cannot recognize this one before I mention her name, then there's a problem in this one, on this platform. She's our gift to the world. The most prominent position of critically acclaimed young Anglophone authors. She has succeeded in conquering Africa and the world. In fact, she's our gift to the world in terms of literature. Okay, it's talking to me. What drives your brand? Yep. But I want you guys to answer this one. Who is she? Who is this lady here? While you guys are trying to grasp, but guess what? She has gone beyond the climes of Nigeria and she's playing Glocal now. Her imagery, her branding, her persona resonates in terms of cerebralism. She's not reductionist. She's expansionist in terms of her thinking and her processes. Chinamanda. I'll use one name to describe her. Next one, please. Okay. Okay. I give this one out here. If hustle were a region, this guy would be the messiah of hustling. He started small, but etched his name in the sands of time. Now, this is a brand that has gone global from his constituency to the global market space. So who is ready to play in the global market space? After tonight, we need to see some people with attitude, with the right frame of mind and right strategy, ready to play in the global space. Let's look at some corporates now, without mentioning them. Who can, please, I'll pause for like 1 minute. Please, I need some answers here. Which brand is this, please? If you get it, can recognize this brand identity based on their payoff or their promise. By 1 minute, almost gone. No winner. Is America in here? Somebody said Coca-Cola. Okay. Her name is Kokui Tosu. Kokui Tosu said Coca-Cola. We need more answers. I need 5 winners, 5 answers. So I can pick only 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's there? Who's here in the house? 4 more answers, please. Okay, I extend it by 1 more minute. So I can speed up. I want winners for my 2 of my ebooks. Only one person said Coca-Cola. Going. Pelsi Akins said Coca-Cola 2. Number 2, Pelsi Akins. Princess Chukwudumebi, Coca-Cola again. Is there a conspiracy here? Is there a Fidelity Chiledu said Coca-Cola again? Wow. Okay. I'm going to count out and end this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 of you are right. It's Coca-Cola. Open happiness. Next one, please. Congratulations, 4 of you. You got the ebook. You get it by tomorrow. Now, this is another brand again. Premium. Global branding that resonates across all platforms. This one is only 30 seconds. Which brand is this? Premium. Those that got the right answer the last time cannot participate on this one, please. You are banned. You can't get the same ebook twice. Koku Tops again. You can't get the same ebook twice. Are you trying to deplete my library? Okay. Abraham Akibami Apple. Okay. Abraham is there. Time is up. Let's go. Let's move. So Promise Agu again, Apple. Okay. Did Promise participate the last one? Promise Agu. Okay, there's Joy Akama Guna said Apple. Take the list, please. Okay. Time's up. Let's move on. Let's move. Let's wrap up. My time is almost up. Let's go. Okay. What are the traits of global brands? Similar traits. They have a differentiating vision. Number 1, they have a differentiating, their vision is different. You notice all these brands have differentiating vision. The other one is interested in human progression. Now you see, you have to focus on your vision. The vision drives the mission. Without a vision, there's no mission. They don't get lost in translation. In between, they stay consistent. Most of these brands remain consistent over the years. They don't get lost in the transition and the translation from phase 1 to next level or wherever they're operating. So that means that when you are trying to operate in Ghana or Cameroon, you do not get lost in trying to implement your brand strategy in a way that you lose your value. You remain consistent in any language. All the strategic elements are fully aligned. The third one, they are all aligned. Everything they do are aligned with the global vision and the global strategy. And guess the best part of it I love a lot. They have a consistent identity. Now, if you notice the logo I showed you, where we have open happiness, that's Coca-Cola in China. It was intentional. It was meant to confuse you guys, but all of you did not get confused. Congratulations. And I pray that when it's time for your brand to go to China, Tokyo, Hong Kong, anywhere else, your people will be able to identify your brand based on your consistency and your discipline. And finally, you must build a team of believers. Like Apple. Apple has a tribe. Do not let go of your tribe. The people that believe in you from the beginning, grow them. But you have to consistently communicate your values. Communicate your values. So you build a team of believers. I'm moving on now to the next slide, please. So case study. Now this is I love this case study. I want you guys to slow down a bit, please. Okay. Now, if you remember, I talked about the soldier in the war. That was a case study. We're going to tie all this up at the end. Now, there's this case study of this set of elephants. These elephants were brought into it was like what do you call them? The capacity of animals. So when these elephants, new set of elephants were brought into this camp, and it was an experiment by some scientists. They wanted to find out if you bring in new elephants into this community, how would they behave? And they found out that these new elephants were very erratic. Very, very erratic. And the question was, why are these elephants behaving different from other elephants? Why were they behaving differently? And the answer was very simple. They found out that in this mix, there were no older elephants. They were all young elephants. So the solution, they brought new elephants that were older into the mix. And that changed the whole erratic behavior. So what's the solution here? What's the essence and in this case study? If you want to play in a global space, you cannot continuously play local. You can't play with the people you started with. You need to be ambitious enough to elevate yourself beyond your immediate market. To play global and glocal, you must elevate and move on. And you need to get mentored and play in a circle of those already playing global and going global. Or else you remain a little elephant that is erratic and consistently remains in the local market. You need to consistently, thank you, Princess Chukwudumebi, yes, build a team of believers. You need to elevate yourself to play in the global market. You start small. You start small, but you need to move. You need to move to the next level by playing in the local space. And you cannot tie yourself to the local market. You need to look for a bigger market and then align yourself with the local players. Now, how do all this tie into PFC Desmond does? Remember the case I told about at the beginning, where he was focused on his conviction, not to carry bear arms, but there's something about him. He was different. Now, let me break it down. And this is where it boils down to all of you. He had a strategy, number one. He had some Nike. Yes, thank you. Play in the circle, in the global circle, yes. Now, he had a strategy. He stayed as close to the ground. Now, when you're at war, you don't raise your head up, you can get shot. He stayed close to the ground as possible. As you're playing local and global, stay close to the ground. Put your ears to the floor. Understand the nuance of the market so you can grab what is going on, so you can add it to your powerhouse in terms of getting the bull's eye where you want to shoot. He avoided all the bullets. He played close to the ground. You can avoid all the bullets by putting your ears to the ground, understanding this local market, or else you can't survive in the global market. And then when he most battered, he showed up leading through the fear. In every situation you have your misgivings, show up. If you are right in the front lines of the war, he wasn't behind. To be a leader, you must be at the front of the battle. To lead your team, you must show resilience. You must be at the forefront. You can't be at the back to lead. Only failures stay at the back and send others to the war front. As a leader, to play Glocal, you must be at the forefront. This young man played at the forefront. He also assisted. Now, guess what? He had his enemies. He also assisted others, injured soldiers. So, guess what? Even the soldiers that were attacking, that even castigated him at the beginning over his issues, Understand the things out there which work for your advantage. Leverage on them. Free tools. As a business brand, as a corporate or personal, do you understand you can access a lot of free tools online, resources. Find the opportunity and leverage on them. This young man leveraged because he understood that staying in the ditches will be safer for him to think and deploy his own strategy. Okay? So as a brand, you must understand that. And guess the final part, which is critical for human elements. You must be able to connect on the emotional. He expressed his empathy. And guess what? He even helped some Japanese soldiers. His opponents, those who were trying to kill them, and his team, he helped them. Look at what McDonald's did during the COVID. That's another case study for that day. I don't want to go beyond 2 cases. I think my time is almost up. But guess what? And then he leveraged on his relation with his father. And this saved him when he was being court-martialed. Now, you don't burn your bridges to go. Don't ever burn your bridges. You need everybody on your journey. Nobody is unimportant on your journey. And then remain consistent in your message. My team are telling me that I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to do my final remarks now. Please, team Astra, please give me time. 2 minutes, let me round up. Now, my party shots now. Success is often built on strong personal branding. Yes, most successful brands are built on successful branding because it immediately tells us who a person is. If your brand does not resonate, nobody will know who you are. Personal brand is limited to those in public. It's not limited to anybody, any sphere. Regardless of who you are, you can showcase your talents. No matter where you operate from, you can showcase your talents. Over the years, I've consistently talked about this because I believe that if you can ensure that your personal brand is consistent, well structured, you can operate on any level. Look at some brands around you today you respect. Fela Ture, Larry Shola, Olakuni Sorio, Steve Harris, Jimmy Tewe. I mean, I am Bankole, Emeka, Fire Emeka, he calls himself Emeka. And guess what? Then there's Otudor. So you cannot overemphasize the importance of personal branding. The future of global economies will remain consistently hinged on the successful betting of personal brands. Because when you create a successful personal brand that resonates, you can create economies of scale. You can employ more people. Those people can also take care of their families. And without knowing it, you are creating what I call the economies of scale. And I've said this several times in my personal branding document, the personal brand, volume 1 and 2. I keep on saying that you cannot create impossible if your personal brand on the corporate level, if your personal brand is not consistent and does not resonate beyond the immediacy of your environment. So I want to admonish you guys, take your personal branding seriously. Take it seriously. And then finally, no matter who you are, I repeat again, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you can benefit from putting effort into your personal branding. How? How do you do that? Being consistent, understand the principles. But to play global, you must go through the processes because the global space is big enough to assimilate and accommodate all of you out there. Whether it's a portfolio, blog, or dating profile, whatever platform you want to deploy to express your brand, all you need to do is just amplify your awesomeness and amplify what is awesome about you. What is awesome about you? And let's ask you again, who are you? Who are you? What's your brand strategy? What are you building? Build your personal brand on your strengths. Sell yourself through authenticity and good intentions. I'll go back again. Build your personal brand on your strengths. Sell yourself through authenticity. Be real and good intentions. Show those interested all that you can offer and what you have to offer. And then guess what? Just be you. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't try to imitate anybody else. Don't try to copy. Don't try or attempt to duplicate any other brand. Be authentic. Just be you. The market has changed. The market is changing. There is no space for mediocrity anymore. You want to play the global space? Don't forget, you are the best version in the market. Connect it with all this and understand that the future begins with authenticity. Just be you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I call him the godfather of branding. I am sure that you've also experienced it yourself. And you know why I call him the godfather of branding. Sir, thank you so much, Mr. Charles Otudor. Sir, I celebrate you. Sir, we also want to celebrate you on your new award. We know that you've just been awarded the Global Leadership Award for politics and leadership. So we celebrate you on this, your new feat. We see that at the back. I've been to your office. At the back, there are so many awards, and you've added another one to your feather, another feather to your cap, sir. I celebrate you. I celebrate you. I celebrate you. That was an awesome session, sir. Thank you so much for giving it to us. I love the way you put it. You need to have a team of believers. I think that's one area a lot of us fail to realize. Your personal brand cannot be amplified if you don't have a team of believers that believe in you, and you also cannot amplify your awesomeness if it looks like you're only the one in the room. So it's good that you have the right team. Mr. Charles also said that you should follow a mentor, and like we say in local parlance, follow person wey sabi road. So if you want to develop your personal brand and be that amazing person and get that global relevance, you've heard it all. Ensure that you amplify your awesomeness. Ensure you have the right team of believers. Ensure you have the right identity. You know your why. You know your values. And you have a consistent message. I have to emphasize on that. You have a consistent message. And in my opening remarks, I mentioned how Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido are, pretty much making us proud all around the world. You realize that they all have consistent message. A Burna Boy is not trying to be like a Wizkid. Neither is a Wizkid trying to be like a Davido. And like Mr. Charles said, none of us, like all the examples he mentioned from Elon Musk, Gary V, and even Chimamanda, they're all not trying to be any other person than themselves. So it's important that you're authentic. Thank you so much, sir, for that amazing one. I'm sure people have questions. We still have a few more minutes to go. If you have any question, please, Mr. Charles is here. Put it in the comments. We would share that right away. We will share that right away before we move to our next line of action. And don't forget, our winners will be reaching out to you to get a free copy of Mr. Charles' ebook. The free copy of Mr. Charles' ebook. Trust me, 2022 is the year that you want to take your brand to the global level. So do we have any questions? The back team, do we have any questions? Okay, sir. In the absence of any questions, sir, I want to ask my own question. It's a personal question. All right. So now the thing about branding, and from what I do understand, people are, should I say, afraid, or people kind of like don't have that clarity. I know over the past few years, following your journey, how you've been consistent in your message in terms of the type of fonts you use, in terms of the kind of colors you use, in terms of the kind of your brand voice, and most importantly, your brand architecture. Can you explain to us why is it important to be consistent in portraying or representing yourself to the public in certain ways? People want to know, why is Mr. Charles always using red and black? Why is Mr. Charles always doing this or is always doing that? Can you just explain to us so that people can understand how this affects your message?
Okay. And in a market where there are myriads of brands and then myriads of communication efforts, you get lost if you're not consistent, because without knowing it, when you are inconsistent, you create what are called brand chaos. The brand chaos happens when your consumers start seeing another brand as your brand, because in the minds of your consumers, there's a bank. There's a bank where there's memory. It's about memory. What people remember is the top of the mind. Now, when your top of the mind recall in your mind's bank is eroded, automatically what that does for your brand is that it gives space for people to remember other brands. When they think of you, they remember you and two other brands because there's erosion, there's no consistency. What does consistency do for brands? It ensures that there's top of mind recall. So when someone closes their eyes or they want to take a decision about a car, about a yogurt, or about a soap, or about a toothpaste, or about anything, it is what resonates is the top of mind recall. So consistency and discipline ensures repeat purchase on the part of consumers because what you sell all the time in terms of your communication, your brand colors, your brand templates, your brand identity, your brand language, your brand behavior, your brand association, and then of course your brand voice is what resonates. For instance, if you pick up a phone now, and let me give you an instance. What brand is that?
The famous Nokia.
Voice activation rather than Nokia. That's where you go to the next level of branding, where you go beyond the surface branding, you now go into the 360-degree branding. That is the point. At that point, you are now going into sensory branding. There's also what you call the smell, sense of smell. For some brands, they use smell. You walk into any of their restaurants across the country, the same smell. You use their towels, the same aroma. Everything is about. So at that level, you go into sensory. So top of mind recall comes to bear. So consistency is critical in ensuring that there's repeat purchase and brand loyalty across all points. Mid-term, short-term, and long-term.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. We're definitely going to be getting you back on a private masterclass or workshop, guys. So don't worry, Mr. Charles is not going anywhere. He's here for you. And I also want to add this. If you do not know, Mr. Charles is well grounded in politics and policy. So if you're thinking of someone that can help your state, your country, or your organization create and craft that right brand that would push against the clutter and be on that global level where your message will be consistent, you definitely want to link up with Mr. Charles. We'll be sharing all Mr. Charles' materials as we are given in the Telegram group. So if you're not in the Telegram group, guys, this is the time for you to be in that Telegram group. Thank you so much, Mr. Charles, for all that you do. We celebrate you, and we also congratulate you as being one of the most influential brands in Nigeria in the year 2021. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you, sir. All right. So, guys, you are still watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. And I remain your host and convener, Emeka Ebeniro. We'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we're taking it a step further. We have our next speaker, and this person, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. After this short break, you know more about our next speaker. We'll be back after this short break.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand. You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
We're about to go into a session on how to create a global image, and we're going to be asking people what they wear and how they wear it, which is more important in creating a global image. Let's go.
It's actually important because how you wear it is what speaks about the usability of what you wear. I would say how you wear it because it's when people say what you have, that's when they can look at it and say this is a brand, this is what I would like to follow. Or at least when you wear something and they see it, that's what attracts people to the brand.
Well, I believe it's how you wear it because if you Yes, brand matters, but you know, when somebody looks at what you wear, when you combine a particular clothes to a certain way that is very pleasing to the eye, yes, this stuff, people will not look at the brand. They'll be like, I like how this person is. When you don't ask first, what's the brand of? They'll ask, like, they'll appreciate the combination.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
What I wear and how I wear it. It depends on how I wear it. Because I can be just wearing this and I'm looking good, but what I wear might not really matter. It's just the way you combine it. It's a combination. I think is okay. Let's put it in this perspective. Things come and go, trends come and go. So I could decide that I could do what I want, but it doesn't sell because that's not what is in trend. Almost I have to just follow the trend. There's no business do it nowadays. Yeah, businesses do it nowadays. Like you have to maybe for example the computer age that we are now, people don't use fax anymore and this. They might find it comfortable, but because maybe it helps you get to customer faster and stuff like that. So you have to use emails instead of using fax. So I think it's words and not the way, because your own way might not be right.
So that's what people think about creating a brand image. Let's hear from a speaker.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand. Renée Q Boateng. Renée is a self-development, empowerment coach and an astute thought leader whose mission is simple: to bring out the inner power of women. She offers specialized training, coaching and seminars in self-confidence, self-development and personal branding. Having worked intimately with professionals over a decade, Renée realizes that success is not far often hindered not by the lack of potential, but by the lack of presence. She believes that empowering people and giving them a nurturing environment are important foundations for making life meaningful. Renée empowers you to own any room you enter, constantly seeking ways to inspire others and having been through it herself. She founded Butterflies and Pearls. She has a talk show, The Reni Q Show, which is all about life and how we are living. It airs on YouTube and Praise TV in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Reni Q Boateng. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Yes. You're welcome back from that short break. And at this point is where we have our next speaker, Renée Q Boateng. Renée, like you know, is a self-development, brand strategist, and etiquette coach. And today she's going to be sharing with us how you can create that global brand image that you've always wanted to. So if you're thinking of what do I wear, how do I appear, how do I get that presence that people will be like, yes, this is the brand that I want to connect with, you are in the right place. You are definitely in the right place. And you are, come on, ready to get the strategies, the insight, the tricks, and the hacks that will take you to the next level. Without further ado, I'll be calling up on stage Renée Q Boateng. Renée. Woo! Welcome, Renée.
Thank you so much. And I really like the voice of the gentleman who was reading, Renée Q Boateng. I was like, thank you so much, Emeka. Thank you for this invitation. I am so honored to be a part of this and to be speaking with these amazing speakers. Said Charles Otudor. I was like, hey, don't say everything. No, I also have to talk. Don't say everything. It was amazing. An amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emeka.
All right. Awesome. Over to you, Renée.
Yes, thank you so much. And hello, everybody. They've already introduced me. That was a powerful introduction. Thank you so much. Someone is saying video is off. Can you see me? I hope you can see me. Emeka, I hope it's okay. Somebody just typed video is off. But anyway, let me just continue. So I love this topic so much.
Yes, we can see you.
Branding.
We can, Renee, we can see you. We can see you clearly. Yes, it's clear. We can see you. Awesome.
Okay, let's go on. So because I have, I think, 20 minutes or so, so I put a few things down, because if I go freestyle, you could give me like an hour to complete this. So let me just, go as I've typed it, and maybe add a little bit more. So I love this topic so much, personal branding. I know a lot of people are like, what's all this about personal branding? A lot of people have been saying it, that suddenly is everything, everybody's talking about personal branding. But maybe it's because now we have really realized that in order for you to make it, in order for you to like differentiate yourself and everything, you need to develop your personal brand. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I always say that your image is your brand. Your image is your brand. And today I'm talking about creating a global image. So let's talk a bit about personal branding, and then we'll bring in the global bit, okay? So personal branding, like I said, it's all about your image, okay? It's a general impression, how people see you. So when you walk into the room and people see you, what do they see? It's your presence, it's your style, it's your poise. I mean, that is your outer traits, but there are also the inner traits which make your personal brand as well. Your reputation, your values, what you stand for, your attitude, your interest, your uniqueness, your reputation. All of these make up your personal brand. Somebody said that your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So when you're not around, when you are not around and somebody asks, who is Renée Q? Have you heard about this Renée Q lady in Ghana? What people will say about me, that is my personal brand, because that is how they see me. So it is what I have shown them, what they have seen of me, and what they have deduced that has made my personal brand, basically. So that's what it is. It's what people think of you. And it's so important today, like I said, because there's so much competition now. With all this COVID and everything, a lot of businesses being shut down, many people are going to entrepreneurship and all of that. There's so much competition right now. So really now it's like, who should I choose? Who should I buy from? Who should I select to offer me this service? Now, a lot of the time, it's not even about the product or the service anymore, but it's about the interaction with the person, and that is the personal brand. So right now, it's your personal brand that is taking you further. So that is why it is so important. I keep saying, everybody, it's so important that you develop your personal brand. If you want to go way, 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 if you want to cross your goals, you really must develop your personal brand, because it shows your uniqueness, okay? It's what differentiates you, and it's what makes you stand out and get to where you want to be. Now, creating a global brand, let me say it's a mindset, okay? You have to say to yourself that I will be who I am wherever I am. Okay, this is something that you should say to yourself, that I will be who I am, who I truly am. I'll be who I am wherever I am. So my standards and my values will not drop depending on where I am. So if I'm in Ghana, for example, I won't be a certain way, and then when I go to the UK, or when I go to Nigeria, or when I go to Dubai, then my standards will change. My image will be the same. How I present myself will be the same. It will not drop depending on where I am. So I will not dress a certain way because I'm in Accra, and yet when you see me in Dubai, then oh my goodness, you can't even recognize me, because I feel I'm in a foreign land, so I have to do much more. Who you are is how you should be wherever you are. So if this is my style, if this is what I'm known for, like everybody who knows me knows how much I love pearls. Like I'm wearing pearls almost every day. For me, it's a symbol of elegance. I just love it. For me, when I wear it, I just feel like I just feel like a lady. I feel like it just adds like some class to my style. So I just love it so much, because it's also a classic piece that you can wear every day with anything. So I love pearls so much. So it's also part of my personal brand now. When people are talking about me and Renée Q, hey, Renée Q and her pearls, she doesn't drop her pearls. So it becomes part of my look. So it's part of my image. And my image is what? My image is my personal brand. So it's really, really important that you must be the same person wherever you are. You must be authentic wherever you are. Have you ever met somebody somewhere and you see the person, you're so shocked Because every time you see the person like looks a certain way. Like maybe every time you see them, they are well put together and everything. And then you go somewhere where they don't think they'll see anybody they know, in quotes. So then they just wear anything and go somewhere. So you see them and you're so shocked. And you haven't said anything, but when they see you, then they feel like they have to start explaining. So they'll be like, oh, me today, I didn't even wear my wig. And this one, let me put this on the women, okay? The men, let me just leave them for now. The women, this example is on the women. I didn't wear my wig today, because look, when I was coming and then this and then, and nobody has even asked you anything. It's just because you just feel like, oh my goodness, somebody has come and seen me in this state, because that is not who I am. This is not how I present myself to people. This is not how people see me. But unfortunately, this is how I've gone out and somebody has come and seen me this way. So it's really important. Now, let me give this example, okay, about having the same values and standards wherever you go. Now, just imagine you work abroad, okay? So you work for an international company. Global means international. So you work for a global, huge company. Now, they send you to Lagos for maybe 6 months on a project, or they send you to Accra, or they send you to Togo or Senegal. Now, you shouldn't get here and then think that because you've gotten to Africa, now you change your work ethics. You start coming to work late. Now, the way you used to dress so sharply, and your image is so important, because it makes a lot of choices. It makes a lot of decisions. Now, when I'm coaching clients, I say to them, sometimes ladies who come to me, who say, and I tend to like work a lot with ladies. So some ladies come to me complaining, about their look. Maybe it's affecting their relationship, number one. Maybe it's affecting their work. They feel like they should be promoted. Renee, I've worked at this company for so long. I do everything. Anytime, the manager needs whatever, and a project comes, an assignment comes, I'm the one working behind the scenes, but they are not promoting me. Anytime there's a conference, international conference, they are not sending me. And then quietly, I've just assessed the person and I've seen the person. And I say to the person, listen, this is not to hurt you or anything. This is the truth. Because in order for us to work as a coach, you need to hear the truth in order for you to make that change, to make that step. But you probably are not being chosen because of your image. Because maybe in that room, and that they're having that conversation, and then the question comes, so who should we send? And then the name comes up. How about we send I don't know. I don't want to mention anybody's name in case somebody's called that name here. But let's say, how about Adi? Let's say Adi. So how about we send Adi? And then they say, oh, Adi is really, really good, but she doesn't present, she won't not represent the company well. Because, when you work for a company, you are the ambassador for the company. When you work for a company and you are sent on a mission, when you go there, you are representing the company. So it's like you are the company's ambassador. So how you look and everything reflects on the value of the company. So you can't work for a certain company and not dress properly and all of that. Your image plays such an important decision and role in your promotion, and it's so important. I keep saying this, because they need to say, because sometimes, unfortunately, like I said, you go for an interview somewhere, your CV is fantastic. You went to the best schools, you got the A's and the first class upper and the this and the this and the that, but then your image, as you are walking towards the manager going to interview you, they are looking at you like, what position is she coming for? Is she coming for the manager position? Is she coming for the HR? Is she coming for the PR director? They're already, as soon as they look at you. And that's the thing. For us who are Christians, of course, the Bible said don't judge and all of that, but it is so natural and human that as soon as you see a person, immediately you judge the person. As soon as you see the person, you immediately assess the person and you make a decision in your mind immediately. So as soon as you see somebody coming, hey, this one, they're rich auntie coming. I've heard about the rich auntie vibes. So you see somebody coming like, hey, this one, rich woman. Or you see a man coming like, hey, he must be a director, or because of how he's dressed. But there might be a director as well who might be coming one day. And haven't you been somewhere before? Sometimes you go to a shop, for example, and then you go there, you say, oh, can I speak to the manager? And the person looks offended. I am the manager. What do you mean? Almost like a look like, what do you mean? Well, I'm sorry, but you didn't look it. And that's what it is. Our image is so important when it comes to personal branding, because as soon as somebody sees you, and first impressions are so difficult to change. So when you see me for the first time, how you think of me, what you see, what the image and what comes in your mind, it will be so difficult for you to change once you got that first impression. So it's really important that all the time, I always say it's so important that you should be always so well put together, because you don't know when and where and who you meet at any time. So it's really important that you yourself you know who you are, you know your value, and you exude it in your image, in how you look. Knowing your value and knowing your worth, you exude it in how you look. And it's really, really important. I'll get back to the example that I was given. So just imagine this, and you're not being promoted and you're so upset about it. And the company, they say that the board of directors, they say she's really good, but she's really good behind the scenes. I don't think that she's the right person, or he is the right person to go and represent us. It's just not right. Otherwise, they probably would devalue. They probably would devalue us, and who they send is so important. So our personal branding is so important. Your image. I keep saying this. Your image is your brand. Somebody please type that for me. Your image is your brand. Who you are, how you look, everything. And now with decision making, is very, very, very easy. I mean, let's take, for example, you go to the market. Okay. Now you go to the market. Every time you go to the market, so many people are selling the same thing on the same lane, on the same road. So let's say I want to buy tomatoes. There might be 4 different women selling tomatoes back to back to back to back. But which one do I go to? It's the same red tomatoes. It's the same, but I probably will look at all the tables, and maybe one of them has arranged the tomatoes in a certain way, knowing that the market is full of flies and everything. She's probably put a mosquito coil on the table somewhere, and she's fanning the flies away. And she herself looks thank you so much, Debbie. She looks so like presentable. So in my mind, immediately, I'll think to myself that those tomatoes are more hygienic just by the look. Just by the immediate look. I just see it like that, and I would choose her over all the 3 others. Meanwhile, it's the same tomato she's selling, and maybe hers is even more pricier, but I'll be willing to pay her price because I feel like I want those hygienic, clean tomatoes, just because I've seen that she's put a mosquito coil around and everything. She's also looking very, very neat. So it's really, really important. Sometimes you want to buy roast. I remember one time I was so hungry on the road. I was so hungry, and I was like, man, I was telling my driver, I said, I need to eat something. And those who know East Legon Lane, that lane is full of roasted plantain. So I said to him, I need some roasted plantain right now. Otherwise, I'm going to collapse in the car right now. So we got somewhere, he stopped, and he was going to buy. And as soon as I turned and I looked at the woman, I was like, I can't eat her roasted plantain. Just immediately, I told myself, Baba Yanko, come and let's go. I can't eat. Why? Because I was so close to her. Her fingernails were so dirty. I saw like some black things. Maybe it could have been the plantain. Forgive me. I don't know. But immediately, I just thought of dirt. I just thought of untidiness. I just thought of, and then she was using her fingers in this day and age when everybody is using, like, I just thought that I just can't eat her food, just because of how I just saw her. But who knows, maybe on that whole road, her plantain is probably the tastiest. So what I'm saying right now is our image, how we look. We need to pay attention to our image, because your image is your number. I mean, when it comes to personal branding, there are so many different factors, but your image is number one, because it's the first thing that people see when they see you, and it's the first thing that gives them an impression of you. So it's really, really important. Okay, like I said, creating a global mind is a mindset that you say to yourself that wherever I am, wherever I go, I'm going to be myself. Now, another example I want to give, maybe this one, let me give this to the men who drive more, men and women, let me say men and women. But haven't you noticed, don't you know anybody, don't you have some friends, maybe it's even your husband or your brother or, somebody in the UK, even they respect even the yellow lights. What does the yellow lights mean? Get ready to stop. They will start stopping slowly. But when they are in Accra, when they are in Lagos, when they are wherever, to them, I beg Africa, red lights, don't cross it. And when the policeman standing there in his uniform is like, stop, you have crossed the red light, what would they say? Oh, clear off. They'll just put their hand like this. Can you do that in the UK? You cannot. So you see, that brand, who you are, you should be authentic wherever you are. Because listen, just imagine you are a family in the car. The mother is driving, maybe the father is busy on the phone. The 3 children are at the back. This family lives in Ghana, lives somewhere in Africa. They see their parents go to church, they go out in the car with their family all the time. And they've been seeing their dad or their mom, going like that to the policeman and everything, crossing the red lights and everything. But when they are in London, they realize that, but they don't cross the red light. And then your child asks you, but daddy, but mommy, how come it's red, but this time you didn't cross it? What are you going to say to them? What would he say? Oh, is it because we are in London? Is it because we pay a fine? Oh, as for here, dear, we don't do that. Oh, as for this place, no. What do your children even think of you? Then you're even confusing your children of who their father or their mother is. So it's really important. And your children as well are also creating, their own image of you. Their own, somebody can say that as for my dad, my father is like this, my mother is like this. And it's because they live with you and they see what you're doing. They hear what you say. They hear the kinds of things that you say. They see you drive as well. So you can't even confuse your children like that. So your image, everything that you do, because I said image also includes your personality, your values, the things that you do. And that's your inner traits. So those inner traits should remain the same wherever you are, whether you are here in Ghana, in Nigeria, wherever, in Africa or international. It's really important. You don't want to confuse your children, okay? It's really important, okay? I've just gone and slid all the way up. Sorry. So like I was saying, it's important to develop. And one thing I want to say is that people worry about it, that I want to develop my personal brand, and they think that it's a one-day thing. So they think that you wake up one morning, you make up that decision, I want to develop my personal brand, and you feel like by evening or afternoon it should be done. But no, it's actually a process. So please don't be hard on yourself as well. Personal branding takes a lot of also self-development, which I teach a lot on. I'm always saying every day, try to develop yourself. It's so important. As you are developing yourself, you're also developing your brand, because who you are is what your brand is basically. So as you are developing yourself, so your brand can change from time to time. The people who knew you maybe when you were in JSS, when you were in junior secondary school, they had their own image of you then. The people who know you now, who didn't know you then, they have their own image of you now. So you shouldn't also put it on yourself that this is how I was born and this is how I am and everybody knows me to be this way and so that is it and that is it and that is it. No. That's why personal branding coaches are there, to help you develop the right brand that you think you need for yourself or that you know that you should be. So I love it when Charles Otudor asked that question, who are you? That's a very good question. When he said, I was just like, man, ask again, who are you? You need to know who you are. Then what do you represent? What do you want to represent? I asked a client one time and she couldn't answer. I asked her, I said, you know what? When you walk into a room, what impression do you want to give people? And she couldn't answer. Why? It's okay. It takes a bit of time because you want to think about it. When you walk into a room, what do you want people to think of you? Oh, wow, that's a confident woman that has walked in. It's also, there's so many different things that people can think of you as soon as you walk in, because you can walk in a room with your head down and then you're just walking like this, going like this. And then as soon as you enter, somebody say, but what's wrong with her? And that is it. Somebody say, please, I beg, if you are too shy, you can walk into a room and people will feel that energy. People will feel that energy. So people can see you and immediately deduce. So the question is, what impression do you want people to have of you? What impression? I'm asking this. I don't know if you can, is anybody typing there? I don't know if you can ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And what do I want people to think of me? What do I want people to think of me? And am I even ready to become the person that I was made to be? Because sometimes some of us don't know what our purpose is yet. And then we get to a point where now we have reached our purpose. Now we feel like now we know what our purpose is. You can actually develop your brand to suit your purpose. You can do that because before you didn't know who you were. So you've made mistakes and it's fine. It's fine. You are human. You've made mistakes in the past. That's fine. That's the past. But from today, you can say to yourself that knowing that this is who I am and knowing that this is what I was created to be, from now, anybody who sees me will see me in this way. And you can work on it. And it takes time. Yes, it does take time. But then don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just say to yourself that I will do it. And yes, you'll do it. Okay? Improving yourself makes you trustworthy. Improving yourself makes people loyal, makes people around you loyal. It improves the loyalty. So if you're an entrepreneur, for example, and your clients keep seeing that every time they come, they're just something better, you're just improving yourself, it will make them trust you even more, to the point where before maybe they had to pay you, or maybe before they wanted you to deliver the product before they pay. But then now they've seen certain improvements when they go on your social media page, for example, you are posting certain things, you are posting, they're just seeing a positive change. A time can come where before you even send the item, they've sent the money because they just feel like they can trust you more, because they feel like they're getting to know you more. So I always say to people, stop hiding behind your brand. There are so many fantastic entrepreneurs out there right now. There are so many fantastic people with fantastic products offering fantastic services, but we don't know them. Where are they? We don't know them. They're all hiding. They're all hiding. Some people are letting their PAs answer all the everything. So everything, even the click that says connect to speak to somebody is their PA you are speaking to. So you're not even speaking to the person. So you don't even know the person. And that is why if you have a business, for example, and people connect with your PA or with your associate so much so, when she or he leaves, all your followers
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Yes. We are still here and you are still watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. And I remain your host and convener, Emeka Ebeniro. Yes, thank you so much, Reni Q. Once you join us back, definitely we are going to wrap up your session and we're going to take questions, and I don't know about you, but Reni has spoken so well. And one thing I love about it is the way she has put it. Your image is your brand. Your image is your brand. And this image is not just the way you look. It also ties to your identity and your values. Like the examples that she cited, which is if you are in Ghana or in Nigeria and you don't obey the traffic light, would you do the same when you get to the US or the UK? That speaks a lot about your personal brand. And what I tell people is even as little as the kind of music you like, the kind of food you like, and even where you eat, buy your clothes, and all the other things that you do speaks a lot about your brand. You would agree with me that sometimes when you can even afford to eat at the best restaurant or buy the best clothes, you just find yourself going to that particular client or particular store because there's a way they make you feel. One thing I learned from Leke Alder is a brand is something that influences people's decision. So if people's decisions are influenced by your action, then you're a brand. Or if your decision is influenced by the food you eat or the service, then that organization or service center is a brand. So I'm going to be taking a pause here and we'll be bringing Renée Q back up to wrap up her session. Then we go deeper. We need to ask Renée some questions because Renée has shared so much. She's talked about pearls. She's talked about looking elegant and being the best self at every possible time. But there's some questions that I know you have and you want to find out from Renée Q. So Renée, back to you.
So like I was saying, it's so important to begin to develop yourself and improve yourself. I don't know if you heard the bit where I was saying that now people are not only buying products and services, they are buying you, the person. They're buying you, the person. So maybe somebody driving down the road, they see somebody, their friends, maybe restaurant. They don't really need to eat. They are not really hungry. But just because of the experience they'll get when they get there, the service that they get, just because they know of the sort of joy they feel when they go in there because of the service, they'll just stop to patronize your business. And that is what really is success right now, your personal brand, who you are. So it's really important that you show your face, you show who you are. You need to stop hiding. For those who are hiding, you need to stop hiding behind your brand. Now, let me give you this very, very, very quick example. I don't know if my time is up, but let me give you this very quick example of how I got my first job in the UK. Okay, I've shared this before, but for those who haven't heard it before, very quickly. So I finished university and I said to myself, I didn't want to do any retail jobs or anything. I wanted to go straight into corporate. So I was looking for a job, and then there was this agency near my home at the time in the UK. And then I went and I signed up with the agency. So I went there and I was filling the form, and I saw this lady, you know, when you just feel like somebody is looking at you. So I looked up and I saw this lady looking at me, and then, you know, I just sort of smiled, continued filling the form and all that. And ladies, please, that's also one thing that's very, very important. When you see another person looking at you, it's not all the time that they are looking at you in judgment or in negativity. Sometimes somebody is looking at you because they're admiring something about you. Sometimes they are looking at you and their mind isn't even there. So just to smile a bit even, because you don't even know who the person is. So sometimes, ladies, when we make eye contact, it's so important to just smile. You can even just nod a bit and continue, and not just give that look like, what are you looking at? So anyway, so this lady looked at me, and I think I smiled a bit, and then I continued with what I was doing. And then later on, she came and she said to me that she's the owner of the agency. She's seen what I've ticked that I'm looking for. At the moment, there are no jobs like that. But do I mind being her PA whilst they look for a job for me? And I said, fine, because I was at home not doing anything. PA in her company, that's like I'm working in a corporate institution. So I said, that's fine. She said she'll pay me something little. I was like, that's fine. That's even experience for me. So every time that I'll go to work, I dressed how I dress all the time. Even when I was in university, that was my look. I'm always like sort of like a smart casual dresser. That's how I always dress. You know, I have my trousers on, my shirt, sometimes a vest, a brooch somewhere. I've always loved accessories and all of that. So sometimes when I go into work, they're even teasing me like, oh my goodness, here comes the lady, the dresser, and blah, blah, blah. So sorry, there was one time that Gillette they had to send somebody to Gillette for an interview, and at the last minute the lady called and said she'd gotten another job, so she cannot go. And they were, I mean, all of them were like, oh my goodness, that's their biggest client. They cannot call when it's such a big interview, such a big position. They cannot just call and say, sorry, the lady said she's not coming again. And we're so distraught about it and everything. And then the lady said to me, Renee, can you just go for that interview? And I was like, what do you mean I should go for the just go. I mean, you know, just go and just pretend. I mean, you won't get the job anyway, but just go. And then whilst you are there and all that, we can quickly find somebody, because they were all like, they really can't call the company and say to them that, you know, we can't let you go. And why did they ask me to go? Because I was even well dressed. I mean, I was looking the part. I was looking like I was going for an interview. If I wasn't, I would have had to run home and go and change and go because, oh, I'm going to Gillette. But I was looking the part. So I quickly went there, sat there, was waiting. They asked me to wait somewhere. I went there. It was like a little coffee area. There was this gentleman sitting there drinking his coffee and all that. So I just conversation, because we're just sitting there. So I just said, oh, you know, coffee is not good for you. What you actually need is you need to rest, because his eyes were all tired and I could smell smoke. So I was like, smoking is not good for you as well. You know, you need to rest. You look so tired. And he was like, oh, I'm so tired and this and this. So we had a little bit of a conversation, and then he said he had to go, and then he went. So he went 5 minutes after. They came and called me. Oh, the interview is ready. I went into the office. When I went, there was this man there, like looking through papers and everything. And he lifted his head up and he was like, oh, are you the one for the interview? You've got the job. He didn't even ask me anything. And that position at the time was for an assistant HRIS specialist, assistant human resource information system specialist. I didn't do HR university. I knew nothing about HRIS. I mean, at that point, I was panicking, because it's like, hey, you went there to go and pretend and just to go and while away time. You can't go and take something you don't know. So I said to him, I said, oh, but I actually I'm not a specialist. He said, don't worry, we'll train you, everything. So I went back and I said to my manager, I got the job. She's like, what do you mean you got the job? And I said, I got the job. I mean, I just got there. So all I'm trying to say is, very quickly, because I know time is running and everything, all I'm trying to say is, if I didn't look the part at the time, I wouldn't have been selected to be the one, because there were so many other people there. But a lot of the time, they came casually dressed to work. Jeans, a sweater, sometimes jeans and a t-shirt, you know, because it was just backdoor service, you know. But I would always go like almost like, you know, I would always go like almost formally dressed. So what I'm saying is, it's so important the way you look, because you don't know who is looking at you. You don't know where you'll be. You don't know who you would meet. So it's always important that you put yourself together all the time, and your social media page as well. Let me quickly go on social media. I always hashtag and I say positive social media. I think social media is a fantastic place for self-development, depending on who you are following. So social media is a fantastic, there's so many great people. So you don't have to even type to them and say, will you be my mentor and all of that. You can already have them as your mentors just by following them. And by following them, seeing them, like for example, Tara Durotoye. So if you follow someone like maybe Tara and you see her every day, you see how she's always well put together. She's always smiling. That woman is always smiling. You see her all the time with a group of ladies taking a picture. She's laughing. She brings women together. Even by not even knowing her, you can be learning from her on social media. Now, it's so important for all of us who go on live session. When you go on live sessions, don't go on live sessions to be awed and to be inspired. So at the end, oh, that was so inspirational. Or you'll be typing, or. No. When you get inspired, you need to apply it. So apply that inspiration you get. Apply that encouragement you get to your life. Because inspiration without application is just like a story that you've heard. And you will forget that story. It will just be like oh, wow. And then they ask you, what did they even say? Oh, do I even remember? But it was good. Hello, how did you apply it to your life? So use social media positively. Follow the right kind of people and look up to them, because some people give the excuse that, when we talk about international, they haven't traveled before, so they don't know how to, put themselves together. And that once you have internet, you are already global. Please, everybody. That's why I said I am global and so are you. It's a mindset. You have to say to yourself that I am international. I am global. I will be accepted anywhere and everywhere. You need to have that confidence that I am good enough. You need to have that self-confidence and a high self-esteem. Don't put yourself down. Some people, when it gets to situations where foreigners are coming or anything, then they just sort of shrivel and shrink. The person who really would have been talking and everything in a seminar will then write a question and pass it to somebody. Please ask this question. When it's question time, then they'll write it down. Ask the question. Why? Because there are foreigners there. Because international people have come, so they think they are not good enough. Please, you are global. You are international. It's a mindset. It's something you say to yourself that I am who I am. But the thing is, who are you? Who are you? So get to know who you are and develop yourself, because you are global. Thank you so much. There's so much more for me to say about time.
Amazing, guys. I don't know if you enjoyed that session, but I loved it. I love it. You are global. You are amazing. You have your image is your brand. Renée, thank you. Thank you so much. We love the way you've delivered your speech and your session. You've brought it home. A lot of people can really relate and connect with it. I mean, I particularly like the story about in Nigeria, we call it bole. But I like the story about the bole woman, how you and your driver wanted to buy it, and you realized that, the woman, the woman wasn't, she wasn't representing, like I would like to put it. She wasn't mindful and deliberate about her service and about her hygiene. And that's one thing that we really need to pay attention to. It's not just in the quality, or it's not just in the taste. The presentation or the packaging matters. And this session is all about packaging. How do you want to package yourself as a brand to the global market? Renée, thank you so much for all that you have shared.
Quickly add, I'm so sorry, let me just quickly add this, that some people have the image of a great packaging, but sometimes they say to themselves they are waiting till they get higher. But please, no, be the best from when you start, from the little as you are, from the small as you start with the best, and that is what will make you grow. Some people think when I get to a certain standard before I'll start packaging a certain way, but starting from the little is what will grow you to where you are seeing yourself. So please, from the beginning.
Awesome. So start from the beginning. Yes, you have the end in mind, but start from the beginning and start packaging yourself and your business in line with that vision that you have for that business. Renée, thank you so much. And we love the way you have put it together. And finally, Renée, I need to say this. I love you radiate every time online, every time with you, you radiate. We love the pearls, we love the makeup, we love, you're just full of life, and you're just amazing. Thank you so much, Renée. So Renée, before we let you go, is there any masterclass program, book, or something that you like people to, people we would like to connect with you and with your community? Is there anything that you have that you like to share with us at the Personal Branding Summit?
So coming in March, I'll confirm the dates. I'm having a seminar for women called the Akono Wife. Okay, Akono is a local language. It's Tree. It means tasty. Now I realize that so many young marriages are breaking up, and a lot of the time it's so real that women really make the marriage. So many young marriages are breaking up. So I just felt led to put together this seminar where I'm going to be true. I have been married this year for 16 years, to the glory of God. I am quite experienced when it comes to marriage. I know, and there's so much that goes into marriage and everything. So I'm putting together this program called the Akono Wife. How is it? How can you be the yummy wife that every man will want to have? How can you be and remain the yummy wife, the tasty wife that every man will want to have? Because sometimes the women look good and everything when you're just chasing them and toasting them, as you say. As soon as you put a ring on the finger, the wig goes off, all you see is the 4 cornrows, and that is all. And men are very visual, and sometimes that affects the marriage. It's not all everything, but a lot of the time your image in your marriage, your image as a wife, your personal brand as a wife, your personal brand as Mrs. Emeka is so important. It is so important. It's what really makes the marriage. So I'm coming up. I'll send you the flyer when it's ready. And I'm also coming up with a program in April called BEP, which is the Brand Experience Program. So it's a higher level of customer service. It's about brand experience. So I'll let you know, and then you can post it as well when it's time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Renée. I love it. I love the way you've branded that program, the Akono Wives, and also the BEP, the Brand Experience Program. So guys, you've heard it from Renée. If you're a wife, or you know that you're getting married, or you really want to get that secret of marriage and be like Renée calls it, that yummy wife, that yummy delicious wife, that yummy sumptuous wife, then you definitely have to be at that masterclass. You definitely have to be at that training called the Akono Wives. We're going to be sharing at the Telegram group. So if you haven't joined the Telegram group after this transmission, make sure you click the link in the description to join the Telegram group so that you get copies of Charles Otudor's materials and also details from Renée and her community. So Renée, once again, we would like to thank you for being part of the 2022 edition of the Personal Branding Summit. Thank you, Renée. All right, guys, you're still watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022. I remain your host and the convener, Emeka Ebeniro, also known as Fire Emeka. And I'm super excited because we've had 2 amazing speakers. We had the Godfather, Mr. Charles Otudor, share with us what you need to know, the strategies, the insights, the tactics on how to become a globally recognized and relevant brand. Then we move deeper by going, okay, now that you know what you need to become a globally relevant brand, how can I create that image? And Renée has taught us how to create that global image as a globally relevant brand. Now we're going even deeper. Like you all know, every brand has a story. Our next speaker will be sharing with us how to create authentic stories and events that would help you take your brand to the next level. I'll be sharing some secrets after his point. But one thing I want you to know is there's some certain things that you need as a brand. Every brand needs to have global strategies. Every brand needs to have the right image. Every brand should have the right story and also leverage on events. And Mr. Onye Ubanatu will be sharing that with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going on this short break. And when we come back, we'll be having Africa's premier, foremost, the one and only multidisciplinary creative entrepreneur, filmmaker, and content creator, Mr. Onye Ubanatu. We'll be back after this short break.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand. You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022. Onye Ubanatu. Onye Ubanatu is a multidisciplinary African creative entrepreneur, an inquisitive Nigerian-born collaborator with a lot of strategic event production and content creation experience on some of the finest creative, humanitarian, policy influencers, industrial and lifestyle brands and projects. He has worked on numerous television shows, corporate videos, international news features, and produced documentaries, local and international events, including the historic and first ever Nigerian Football Federation Awards. Onye has traveled across Nigeria, Africa, the Middle East, South America, interviewing policymakers, entrepreneurs, governors, and national figures like Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo, the president of Senegal, Macky Sall, South Sudan's president Salva Kiir, and Forbes' second richest man in Africa, Abdul Samad Rabiu, amongst others. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Onye Ubanatu. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
Yes, Mr. Onye Ubanatu, you are welcome to the Personal Branding Summit 2022. We're happy to have you here, sir.
Yeah, they're welcoming me.
Yeah.
Hey, God, I beg you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. I can
Can you
hear
hear
you,
me?
sir. We can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
You
We
can hear
hear
me
you.
live and direct.
Live and direct.
say this kind of way. See, honestly, all the English one I don't hear since. All the English people be hearing. I not sabi speak English. Whoa! Wow! You know, I have been. I have been listening to. You know, I listened to Charles and then I listened to Renee, and yo, like no jokes, man. See my show now, man. I see, I get notes. I get my own notes. Speak away, take notes. You know, that's amazing. Can you guys hear me? Because initially I was having a little bit of network problem. So can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
All right. Fantastic. That's good. First, I want to say big congratulations to you, Mr. Fire. You know, I don't even know when you went from playmaker to fire maker in, you know, yes. So a big congratulations to you, my brother, for making this happen. You know, this is great. And I'm very, very excited, very honored to be here. You know, just look, big shout out to our guy at the top. We call him Uncle. Uncle Charles. You know, he's someone that when I first moved to Lagos, right? This is like many years ago. I'll tell you a little bit about myself so you can understand where I'm coming from. When I first moved to Lagos, there were a couple of people that I needed to pay attention to, right? And on Facebook, you know, then it was I think at the point when Facebook became a thing, you know, he was one person that stood out for me, and I said to myself that one day, you know, when the stars and everything aligns, you know, this guy, I'm going to connect with him, and I see it happening because we've come this close, and to the point where we can even coexist on a platform, you know, is such an honor. And I want to say big thank you, sir, that for the fact looking at one of the people, maybe say your life
fire or your journey or your process. I want to say a big thank you. And also Renée for the fire, Renée was speaking. Renée said your purpose, so today I don't say that I'm no longer using purpose again. It's purpose, there's some level of eloquence that comes with the way Renée speaks. You can see the genuinity, the passion, the authenticity, in her words and in the things that she says. And that's kind of like what I will be speaking on as well. Before I go, for those of now really carry church for head, wait. When I look my shirt now, could they say this guy wear shirt? They be like, did you? No. these are part of our ancestors. You have the Egyptians. The Egyptian story is one that inspires me a lot. So a big shout out to all the pharaohs. All right, great. So let's just run through this quickly. Look, I said this earlier, and it's no joke. Just a little disclaimer. I know go school, so I be worry boy. A lot of what you guys heard in that profile, na street, I hustle. So there's no template. I don't know what is called template for success or template where they succeed for this life, or a template on how to sell yourself or how to market yourself. I don't know. So one of the greatest tools that I have is my authenticity. And that's what I'm going to share with you. I'm a storyteller. I'm also an event producer. And what I will be sharing on is simply what some of the things that I identified that has helped me in creating a brand. So having said that, I liked what Renée said about her definition of personal branding, and also Uncle Charles as well. I liked how they all connect, and for me that's big because it just saves me a lot of intro to mine. And what is that key thing that I always say about personal branding? See, when I moved to Lagos, hey God, the first thing I said there is a packaging won't keep people for Lagos. The first set of places that I entered to try and hustle. Now English, they want to deaf my ear, but I mean a worry boy. So they thought, oh, so where you from? Well, I say sure. Now I work, I can't find no, I don't know all this English, but I didn't realize that, for some time, opportunities did not come to me as fast as I thought it would, right? But I didn't realize that there was something very significant. The package, yes, you're very passionate. They can see. Yes, you can show that you know what you're talking about. They can see. But the packaging, that first thing where they see not they convey the message, right? But that was my perception of branding at the time. So I now had to go and invest in myself. See, I installed standing mirror for the room where I sleep, for my uncle place, for Okoko, for Lagos that year. Maza after my school, I installed the mirror in the room that I used to live, and then I would take like old clips of newspapers, and then try to read like a broadcaster. I would try to, watch myself in the mirror, because see, they tell us that I Lagos and our packaging, So I started to practice, and I invested in quotes in my outwardness, the way I spoke, the way I addressed people. Back then, as a matter of fact, I actually did not know that I was actually beyond branding. I was also speaking into the future. I would stand in front of the mirror and say things like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies present. It is my honor to be here today. I'm going to be proud for my... You sabi this thing. Knowing that one day it will come. And fast forward, I've been opportunity to work on projects on state level, on national level, and also be on the shores of Africa. And some of the things that has helped me today is that thing called personal branding. Now, I've come to understand in my years of working and mentoring people that people confuse. It's easier and the thin line in knowing what your personal branding is and how that markets you on a scale of, listen, on a scale of sustaining income are two different things. Or rather, there's a thin line in the middle here. There's a thin line, very tiny line. And what is that thing? A lot of times when people think they understand what personal branding is, let me tell you what's going on in their head. It is about what I want them to know about me. I'll say it again. What do I want them to know about me? What do I want to sell to them about me that will make them give me job? Which is not a bad thing. But guess what? A lot of people go in that direction, and this is what they then do. They start to attend all the seminars. They start reading books. They start copying templates of all these people who do personal branding, all of this stuff. I drink water. This thing at a conference, so let me behave like those speakers do. So I don't have pee, and I don't get pee. They bring the glass for me. All right. So you find people who then sort of copy a lot of templates. So they look at people's videos, they look at the way they take their pictures and stuff, and then they copy these things. But then they then forget that personal branding is not what you tell people that you are. It is what people say about you based on experience. They yell. They see how they slow down how they talk this one now. So because this is my guy, fire maker. I met Maker some years back, and I saw a different kind of passion in him. And at the time, I knew he was trying to focus on the most important part of business, which is capacity building. As a matter of fact, we worked on a project that some things went wrong, but we loved Emeka for one thing. He took responsibility that time, and Emeka disappeared from the scene. I think he went quiet for like a year or 2 or 3. And then this brother came back with all kinds of brand and businesses. Until today, those businesses that this guy is running, I've experienced his teams not once, not 2, not 3, not 4. And every time I will end up saying the same thing. These people are so good. They're so professional, so respectful, so on time. And I am super, 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 super proud of this, my brother. As a matter of fact, they inspire me now, sir. So understand that personal branding isn't just about what you spend so much time and money into, to look a certain way, to sound a certain way, and stuff. All those people, they do 10 steps on how to be a stupid person. People go, they buy all those templates and all those stuff, thinking that once I take those stuff in, I will become them. No. See, that brings me to what I want to talk about today. See, I tell now, I'm not serving the English. Okay, let's move on. Now, so I've had situations where I've had to hire vendors based on their social media posts, on how well they've been pushing out narratives that looked very professional, very glossy, and somewhere down the line, when we come in contact and start to coexist, you don't realize that their personality sucks. They have, in short, they cannot even keep secrets, right? They don't even understand what contract is. They don't even understand clients' confidentiality. You find people who, right in front of you, they're trying to boil you to go and meet your clients. And you're like, Baba, calm down. Let me bring you here now. What is going on? Right. So you then ask yourself, why is it that the branding of this person isn't matching with this other person? Right? So it's important. Again, it is important. Let me say it again. Personal branding is not, what is personal business branding? Is not what you want people to know about you, right? It's not just that only. It is what people say about you after one experience. So having said that, let me drop this before I quickly move on. See, I'm going to wrap this up like real quick because the 2 speakers before me, they raised the thing up, so I don't want to drop. So now here's the thing. It is important to know that storytelling is a fantastic medium. Right now, it comes easy. We have technologies. We have technologies driving everything. You can have one tiny little smartphone, can shoot 4K with a click of a button. Boom, you're hitting the world. You can tell the world all these beautiful things about you. And let's say you are colored pink, and then the world believes that you're colored pink, right? and then you come in contact with someone, and then they realize that based on the experience, this guy is pink on the outside, but now dark blue on the inside. Notice I did not say black, because the way they don't say punish black, a couple like we will be black people get problem for this life. So no, dark blue. So once you then see that, it's then, you know, you have to, you then begin to question yourself on what is truly important. Is it my nice storytelling based on what I want people to know about me, or the actual values that I represent, or the value that I bring to the marketplace, irrespective of whatever your business is? You know, whether you be farmer, you be makeup artist, you're a top-notch consultant, you know, all of us as human beings understand that our primary responsibility through work is to bring value to humanity. It is not to make money. Once you understand these principles, once you start this, once you build on this, giving value, there is a supernatural law that goes with everything. It didn't work for me. Now, my mama teach me. Big shout out to my mama. Now, my mama teach me. My mother taught all her kids to know that it's even in the Bible, and I'm very sure it's in the Quran or whatever holy book that you present. What you sow is what you will reap. And my translation in business sense is this: value will always respond to value. Right? So, in telling your own story, this, you know, in telling your own story, you have to be very careful. What is the values that I am communicating to the world, that I'm bringing into the marketplace or to the lives of people? And since Mr. Fire Emeka don't give me the commission to speak on reaching the world through authentic storytelling and event experience, it is fair to say that my purpose, Reni, thank you so much. My purpose here today is just to identify how you can find your authenticity and not begin to copy other people's templates and then end up lasting maybe for 1 year, 2 years, and then boom, that's it. Now, I'm going to use the next 10 minutes. Hey, I do rag with me the shout value. Hey, my guy, I see you value. I tell you value. Once you understand the principle of value, you cannot lose in this life. When I tell people, see, I run this, and then I help corporate organizations set up their communication arms. I do this across Africa. I do this for NGOs as well. I do a lot of trainings. So, you know, when we cross over to this thing using our social media, I call it dictate advertising. You know, for those of you that understand this, you know what I'm saying. You know, social media, they tell clients what they're supposed to do now. You know, a lot of our clients started finding challenge. It was difficult for them to then understand the people who created these things. So they will hire people like myself to say, in our communications department, we only have old people retired. You know, they seem to not understand how the social media thing works. Can you create a team and build a new structure for us that can understand the generation that we're in and the next? And people like myself, I do that, and simply to help them communicate the DNA of the value that they're bringing to the marketplace, which then translates to their own personal value. Oh, tweet that. Too much. All right, great. So under the fact that authenticity is very important on the storytelling. What is authenticity? Simply a genuine way of doing things. You know, we can see that, you know, they lie. All the big grammar you speak, so we can see through you. I'm all this guy. You know, this person knows what he or she is doing. And again, remember what I said, irrespective of what you are doing, you see that work and the pay, that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is, again, the value you bring to people, how you make them feel, how your product make them feel. Now, if authenticity means genuine nature of doing stuff, right? It is important to then know, what is my purpose? Why do I want to use storytelling to promote my brand? Why? Ask yourself, just pause. Why? Why I come this seminar so? Why have I listened to Playmaker, Firemaker? Why have I listened to Uncle Charles? Why have I listened to Renee? Why they watch me now? When you supposed to be Instagram? They watch Reels or they TikTok or to chill with the big boys, But you're here. There's a reason why. Stop for a second and ask yourself why. Once you can identify that, and it's okay, whatever your reasons are, we're not going to judge you. Whether you are looking for a spouse, you're looking for a wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, or you're looking for those general friendships, or you're looking for people to hire you, to partner with you. Whatever the reasons are, start with there first. Just take it, and you may not do that now. For some of you that, you can do that now. You can even type it, why are you here? But I need you to take some time out and just go back after all of this. Maybe tonight, just before you sleep, ask yourself, why am I really interested in branding myself, my business, and all of that? Once you can outline this stuff, we then move to the next thing. Do I truly know what my mission and purpose is in this life? Remember, we're talking about storytelling. And again, we can connect that. You cannot say what you are not to, because you get business after like few weeks or few months, they don't call you back, right? So, or some people, they have good intentions, but they're just afraid. They can't just jump out of themselves to market themselves. All right. So we then look at, what is your mission? What is your purpose? All right. It is important that I also say this. Every human being that is still alive right now, you, me, everybody that's alive right now, we all have NAVDAC number. There's no two human beings that is the same. True of us. There's no two human beings. Last, we resemble. We kind of behave kind of like alike. But there's no two DNA the same sample. All right? So now, here's the thing. If we then know that two human beings cannot be the same, it means that every single person carries an authentic mission here on earth. Wherever our souls came from, it came with an assignment. So as we come to earth, through your mother's womb, there is an assignment that is with you. And it simply means that once you begin to focus on identifying those assignments, your purpose, your mission, whatever it is, not very fancy things, God bless, say, find your purpose. Where your purpose wrong go? No, your purpose is inside you. It is inside you, not anywhere. Once you start to ask yourself that question, you will see them. What are the things you enjoy doing? What are the things you navigate towards? What are some of the things that comes easy to you? It's easy for you to sell, to market, right? So once you understand, once you start to have that conversation with self, it will begin to reveal itself with you, to you rather. And once that starts to happen, you begin to operate on what is called the simplicity of purpose. Hey God, tweet that. The simplicity of purpose. Follow me, because I don't go. So once you begin to operate under the simplicity of purpose, whether an Nokia 3310 you get, or you have a giant squad that is building content for you, or it's just a pen and a paper, or you are running a business where your mates are doing massive boutique, you're doing just a small tie and dye to build the business, or you have just one small laptop that you're using to edit, or you're just somebody who is selling as a third party on social media. Once you understand the simplicity of purpose, meaning you know that you are bringing value to people by who you are, how you make people feel. Whatever business you are operating, people will help you sell that business more than the money. Why? Because more than the money that you invest, in the business to promote yourself, will help you naturally, because people want to be loved, people want to be heard, people want to be noticed, people want to be seen, right? So once you understand this, you then begin to see that way too. The first point of personal branding, it is not just external, it is internal. It has to start from the inside. Hey, That's why I make up put these things. So yeah, that's why the reason why we've been here is so that we can begin to build a thought process from the inside. Honestly, even as I talk on my inside, all the hot, this jacket, I want to pay, but it's too expensive. Big shout out to big shout out to my stylist who is here as well. You know, thank you so much for this. I look good in this jacket, and then I love it. All right, great. So how do you then identify your authenticity? Because somebody is saying, damn, man, this guy is speaking so much wisdom. I like the fire. I connect to what he is saying. But how do I identify with my own authenticity? I'm going to share my own story with you, right? First question you want to ask yourself, what is success? What does success mean to you? Remember I said, once you understand the simplicity of purpose, just follow me. Once you understand the simplicity of purpose, whatever tool you use to communicate, you will then communicate it. Promise, I will promise. Thank you very much. You know, once you understand the simplicity of purpose, anything you do, people will connect to it. And then you add all of this stuff that, you know, Uncle Charles said, Renee, you know, the ones that Emeka dropped. Once you add them to these things that you're hearing right now, see, the world will come for you. Same way the world comes from me. And I'm so, so blessed. And I feel happy. I'm not going to use anybody to play to. 10 steps on how to be a stupid person. I know they do all these things. I dig deep, you know. So the first thing on how to identify your authenticity, like I said, number one, what is success to you? To me, if I want to just be a salesperson, right, and attain a certain level, if I get it, I am considered successful. True. So you need to identify what success is to you. Is what is your goal and mission in life? Earlier, finding your mission in life is right, because so identify your goal and mission. You know, it's very important, because when you start to tell your story, either through video content or still photos or your writings or your attire or stuff, you connect that to your mission and your purpose. And guess what? Humans, not they like to do too much with robots. You know, we like the human connection. Even though robots is now, you know, taking over a lot of things, it is important to know that human connectivity is a vital tool, and protect yours, because technology is coming. Technology is, it don't put going for everybody yet. It's trying to take that away. So you must protect your humanness as a business person. Now, let me give you a typical example. Have you noticed how you are quick to get upset whenever you are on an app, and then before you say Jack Robinson, they don't bring adverts? You click OK. Before you say make you continue, they don't bring another advert. You know, you'll just vex, say, man, upgrade to premium. You know, because the adverts are so plastic, they're not real. You don't feel the connection. You know, you don't want to be that person that people want to swipe past. You know, they see your content, they're like, next. All right. Or they see your business, they're like, no. You know, so it's important, right? Now, the next one is arm yourself with your lessons through life. Arm yourself. Your failures, your success stories, you know, your journey through life, the things that you learn every day, don't throw them away. Whenever you go into a bad relationship, write them down. What did it teach you? There are some things that even me, myself, that I've been through, I'm still trying to figure out, how did it go that way? Where did I get it wrong? You know, and as I constantly engage in that, it helps me with something. It gives me the confidence to inspire other people with my own mistakes. And whenever I do that, people feel a strong sense of connection to me. It's just like my mentees, you know, and stuff, you know, they feel a strong sense of connection to me, because even my clients, sometimes when my clients are talking about stuff and I just run through and I say, this is great, but however, I have done this and I failed in this area. You might want to think about XYZ, and they'll be like, that's true, let's do that. Well, we appreciate the fact that you even are vulnerable enough to share this, right? So under that, embrace your vulnerability, not to fear your mistake. I remember when I had an accident, you know, and during work, and then I fractured multiple parts of my left leg. And during the recovery process, it was so bad because I went really skinny. I was so ashamed of myself. So I would wear face cap to cover me, to cover my face. And then one day I met a friend of mine, and then we're just walking, and she said, "Why are you always wearing face cap?" And I said, "Well, I just fancy story, And she said, "You know what? I think a hat will look good on you." And then from there, I picked up a hat. And then when people say to me, you wear hats a lot, and then that makes you stand out, blah, 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 blah. I tell them these stories. I'm not ashamed of it. And whenever I say that, the next thing they say is, "Man, you went through this, and we know you are very resilient." And then it inspires them. So remember, arm yourself with the lessons. Now, I tell them, I say, I'm not going to call waste time. After this, I don't finish. Because I'm like right at 25 minutes. I'm 5 minutes now. I'm going to go to the timer right in front of me. The last one. Now, you see, there are a lot, but these are the ones that has helped me. The last one is this. Sell less, inspire more with your process. Stop focusing on your end product. Stop focusing so much on the finished product. Remember, your legacy as a human being is not in your finished product. Tweet it. Your legacy is not in your finished product. Your legacy, of course, that one I carry the power of your personal branding, is in your process. People don't get inspired long-term with your product. You know why? You see, once you create something that is great, whether you're a photographer, you sell something, and stuff, once you create a product that is good in the market, I guarantee you in a couple of days, months, weeks, years, somebody's going to create something better than yours. True or false? Very true. So you must understand that if you want your legacy to last for a lifetime, if you want your personal branding to not just be for a moment, please begin to document your process of doing anything that you do. Don't shy away from it. And then use that to inspire people. And then guess what? People will buy your product more because they believe your process, which takes us to where we started. You are authentic. So and we live in a world where noise is so much. The noise is so much. Everybody's doing stuff right now. Do you know how many online TVs we have? I was talking with a great friend of mine about a YouTube video channel, and I was like, man, we've got a lot right now, man. How are we going to make this different? There are a lot. So if you truly want to stand out, understand that your process is more important than that finished glossy product. So what that simply means as I end, stop thinking that you are not worthy of publicizing yourself because the other people who are doing it, their end product looks bigger than you. They are using big cameras, they're using fancy studios, they're using fancy editing machine, they have fancy work lab, they have fancy warehouses, they know a lot of people. No. You see that small way you get so? Start with that. From today, start, whatever it is that you are making, they document the process. They tell people what you discovered. Share to people what you failed at. Share to people what the new things that you found, the new people that you just had conversations with. People will begin to get drawn to you from an authentic point of view. And guess what? They will know you for that. So please, I've exhausted my 25 minutes and I look good in this my jacket. And it's been good connecting with you for 25 minutes. God bless you so much. Thank you. Fire Emeka, my brother.
The one and only Mr. Onye Ubanatu. Guys, see, from the I will tell you my own story about Mr. Onye. Mr. Onye has told you his own story about me. I'll tell you my own story about Mr. Onye Ubanatu. I've been following Onye's, my passion, my life media on Facebook, and I've been seeing the amazing things that they do and how he travels across Nigeria and Africa, inspiring us through his documentaries, both visual and audio visual as well. And one day, fortunately for me, there was a gathering of digital marketers at a lounge, and I looked at the face and I know this face from somewhere. And that day, I came to do what I do best, which is sell. I came to sell. I came to tell people about my small startup, seats and tickets, and give out some tickets to a show that was coming up. I remember, and I walked up to him. I greeted him, "Sir, I love what you do." I didn't farms. I just said, "Sir, I love what you do. I'm having this event. I'm CEO of Sit and Ticket. I don't mind if do you mind if I give you some tickets to attend this event? And that is the first time we connected. So fast forward a few years later, Mr. Onye knows me, and for those of you that know fire, I'm very resilient. I don't give up. I know the year old. So fast forward a few years later, I was fortunate to work on the project which he mentioned. And yes, things didn't go right. I need to be honest. Yes, a lot of things that I didn't do well on my own part. I underestimated timing, not having multiple vendors work with me on that project, and so many other things that I didn't do right. But one thing I know that I did right was I owned up to my mistake. I took responsibility, and that's one thing I know about being an authentic brand. You take responsibility. People love you when you take responsibility. Yes, it's my fault. I apologize. I'm willing to do whatever it is. I'm willing to take half of my pay. I'm willing to, whatever it is to make up for what has happened. And that has been my own story. And the story of me and Mr. Onye has been waxing stronger and stronger. And I've noticed Mr. Onye has been consistent with his wearing his hat for the past few years. And that's one thing about being an authentic brand, where you identify your personal style and you stick to it. So, sir, I celebrate you today, not because of you just spoke, but because of everything that you represent, for the ropes you've shown us as being authentic, telling your story passionately without trying to be anybody else, helping those of us in the industry, in the entertainment industry, come up. And you've shown us you've not hidden anything away from us. You had an open book. Anybody can walk up to you and learn from you. So I celebrate you, and I also celebrate you for being one of the most influential brands in 2021 in Nigeria. I celebrate you as well. Thank you. Thank you, Onye Ubanatu. And definitely, we are going to see you again. We're definitely going to reach out to you because I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. I'm looking at the comments. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions, but we're going to organize a special one-on-one with Mr. Onye. So if it's something you're interested, make sure you are in the Telegram group, because I'm going to drag Mr. Onye from his very busy schedule to share with us in a very intimate, close Zoom meeting, where he's going to be sharing with us some tactics and strategies to make it in business, because Mr. Onye definitely has made some good strides in business, and we're all proud of him. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. Yes. You are still watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, guys. We'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we're putting all this together, and I'll be giving you the announcement and any other thing that we have for you. So we'll be back after this short break.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.
All right, welcome back from that short break. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed quite a lot, but not to worry, you have the replays to watch. And also, if you're in the Telegram group, definitely you'll be the first to get the replay and every other freebie. We have an ebook from Mr. Charles Otudor. We also have information and resources from Renée Q Boateng. Yes, my name is Emeka Ebeniro. If you don't know, I am the host and convener of Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. And I'm wondering why. I'm sure you're wondering, why are we having this? We're having this because Africa is rising. The rise and rise of Africa, the rise and rise of African brands, the authentic storytelling. If you've noticed what's happening around the world, our music, our culture, our clothing, our style, even our parenting hacks are influencing the world. The world is beginning to tap into Africa and being African. I'm sure you must have seen the swallow challenge, the fufu challenge, as it was called, on TikTok, on social media. I'm sure you noticed CK and his love Wantinti raving social media and other platforms. I'm sure you know that Davido, Wizkid, and every other brand that you know is doing amazing across the world. I'm sure you also know that Wizkid has become the first Nigerian artist to sell over double platinum records with his record with Essence, with Thames, in America and other parts of the world. Now you're wondering, like, what's happening? What is happening is because Africa is influencing the world. How can we tell our story? We can do that by sharing what it is to become an authentic brand. And that is why we have the Personal Branding Summit. On that note, I want to thank each and every one of you that has put your hands together to ensure that we have a very successful event. I'd like to thank our media partners, Value Media, Inside Business Africa, Connect Nigeria, Brand Level, and every other business that has come together to ensure that we have a successful event. I also want to thank Tech Solutions. Tech Solution is a gadget and it's a gadget company right here in Nigeria, and they're offering us 10% discount on all their gadgets. If you're in the Telegram group, we'll be sharing more information about that and how you can lay your hands on amazing, reliable, and trustworthy gadgets. We also want to thank Amos Wares for putting this amazing outfit. I'm sure you love my outfit, right? Yes, I love it too. And I also want to thank Amos Wares for making this happen. We also want to thank Gemstone Leadership Academy and Gemstone Leadership Institute, which is the brain, or which is powered or founded by my mentor, my father, and coach, Fela Durotoye. They have shown us all their support by being part of this conference and helping us ensure that everything runs smoothly. I also want to thank my godfather in branding, Mr. Charles Otudor. I want to thank Reni Q all the way from Ghana, the amazing and delectable image stylist and brand consultant. I also want to thank my big boss, Mr. Onye Ubanatu, for sharing with us. Guys, it has been an amazing evening, and I know that you don't want us to go, but not to worry, we have to go. But before we go, I want to let you know that tomorrow is even going to be super packed. Yes. We have Africa's #1 middleman and the founder of the Plug Entertainment, Bizu Oshikoya. In case you're wondering who Bizu Oshikoya is, Bizu Oshikoya is the founder of the Plug Entertainment, and the Plug is the entertainment company and management company that pretty much helped Davido revive his career. When Davido decided to come back, or when Davido came back, bounced back, he got in contact with his former manager, Asa Asika, and Asa Asika and Bizu Oshikoya co-own the Plug Entertainment. Today, the Plug Entertainment is growing really big, and they also manage Super Eagles player Henry Onyekuru's brand. So if you're wondering what personal branding is all about and how you can get into it and how you can also break into the sport or entertainment industry, then you do not want to miss tomorrow's session, because Bizu Oshikoya will be sharing with us how you can break into the global entertainment and sports industry with your brand. Recently, Bizu was seen with Drake, multiple award-winning and Grammy award-winning superstar Drake. And definitely Bizu has some things to share with us. Guys, not to forget, we also have Lizette Mangalese, all the way from Mozambique, guys, all the way from Mozambique. And if you know, Mozambique isn't an English-speaking country, but the Lisa will be here tomorrow and speaking with us in the language which we all understand, which is English, because Lizette has studied in America and also in Brazil to become an expert in personal branding. And Lizette will be sharing with us how you can connect with top management. That is one area a lot of people struggle with. So how can I get my brand and connect with C-suite executive across the world? So if you want to take your personal brand or your business across the world and connect with top management, then you definitely do not want to miss that session. And to wrap up tomorrow, I, your host, will be there tomorrow to help you wrap up and put this all together and how you can build a sustainable global brand. Guys, it has been an amazing one, and I really do not want to go. You know me, fire doesn't want to go, but I have to let you go because this is just the end of day one. With day two, it's going to be bigger and better. Don't worry, you can share all your questions and all your comments in the Telegram group, and you can follow me at Fire Emeka. I am a personal branding and transformation specialist, and what I do for you is I help you build brand authority. In line with this Personal Branding Summit, we're going to be having a special masterclass for those of us that truly want to take our personal brands to the next level. And you want the ABCs, you want the strategies, you want that hand-holding and mentoring and coaching. Definitely, you want to be part of the masterclass. So join the Telegram group, join the waiting list, and you'll be part of this masterclass where we'll be sharing with you and helping you launch your personal brand for the global market. Once again, it's me, your boy, your host, Emeka Ebeniro, the convener and host of this amazing conference, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. We call it a night, but don't forget, you are good, you are amazing. Keep telling your story. And like my sister Renee said, your image is your brand. Good night, God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You are watching the Personal Branding Summit 2022, Africa's #1 global summit on personal branding. Personal Branding Summit 2022, building a global brand.